seriously, some people just have far too much money, but I am so jelly. I'd love to own that sucker. It's beautiful out here in the harbour though. I'm down at the Docklands in Melbourne here. Absolutely stunning day in Melbourne. It's, what day is it? I think it's Tuesday. Racing out at Sandown tonight again, so I should get some good footage of the race. So this is the Carnegie Caulfield Sandown Criterium on Tuesday the 24th of November. This is the first half an hour, and I just thought I'd narrate this first half an hour for you. And I can tell you now, this race was absolutely awesome. So we got a lot of action going on in this one, so it'll be really interesting if you can hang around for the whole thing. So this first lap, pretty much there was an attack that went straight away. So down the right hand side, you'll see up here, there's a couple of guys that sort of jump off the front here, and then down the back straight, a few more people go with them. And in the end, I think there was a break of about 5 riders that went up the road. Well, I can tell you for the first 3 laps, I can't wait to have a look at what my average power was for that little stint, because for that first 3 or 4 laps, in fact I'll bring it up now while I'm doing this, just on the Chrome in the background. But you can see a couple of guys go across to the 2 or 3 guys up the road, so there's 2 more, and then Troy Clark I think he's behind me or something, but he goes across, and then maybe one other, and then we just spent 3 laps absolutely on the rivet chasing these boys. So I think that might be Cyrus Monk from African Wildlife Safaris, and then a couple more go. There's Troy Clark there, second wheel, and then that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. And then we sort of let them go, and then it was game on chasing them. So no one else in the bunch has reacted here. Those 5 boys up the road are absolutely they've got the hammer down. And then so I'm first wheel, just doing a little cheeky turn here. And then as you can see, I just pull over. That's the bunch behind. So they're pretty much gone now. They've got to have, what, 300 metres on us? Something like that. A bunch strung out a little bit here. Starting to turn it up. You know, if you take the time to notice, it's absolutely beautiful racing at this time of the day with the sun just about to go down. But I can tell you, you don't spend much time looking at the sunset at this course. So you can see kicking up to 500 watts there, 500, 600, 700 watts. You know, we're just always jumping out of these corners. And just pops the heart rate up a bit, hurts a little bit, up to 500 watts there. So it's just on and off and on and off. Power. So you can see the brake is well and truly up the road, and you got people now sort of diving across. You can see down the left there, that's Tommy Nankervis. So he's a very, very good sprinter. He's trying to go across to this brake, and everyone knows that he is an absolute hitter, so everyone reacts. You know, when you've got really good riders trying to jump across brakes, usually the group's going to react, and he's not happy. He's not happy with the fact that nobody is chasing, which is fair enough. Now the Bike Bug guys there in the red, they've got someone in the brake from memory, and I remember Tommy wasn't too happy with the Bike Bug boys because they appeared to be blocking. And what blocking is when you've got someone in the brake, so you're part of a team, one of your riders is in the brake, that the other team members come to the front of the main bunch and they just soft pedal, and it sort of slows the main bunch down a little bit. And I can tell you, it doesn't go down too well with the rest of the guys in the brake. Whether the Bike Bug boys were doing that or not, it remains to be seen. But I can tell you, at the time there were a few boys that weren't too happy. There's Dean Johnson, been around the sport for many years, very good bike rider on my wheel there. So you can see we're slowed down a little bit here. So the main field has slowed down, which isn't good. This means with every, I mean, we're still doing 50 kilometers an hour, right? So we're still going fast, but we're just not going fast enough to bring back this brake. And so through this bit here, and they've sort of slowed down, but as we push into these next 3 laps, well, okay, we're flying here actually, 53k an hour, so the hammer's down. But there were points here where the brake were sort of creeping away from the main field, and a few boys went to the front and just turned it on and brought this bunch back. So there's Cyrus Monk. So African Wildlife Safari, from what I can tell, that team there, the sort of orangey ready kit, they are folding this year for various reasons. So it's a shame. It's a shame to see teams like that move on, but I'm sure there will be someone to take their place and sort of pick up a few of these riders. So you can see we're moving through this corner up to nearly over 1,000 watts there, kicking out of that corner and sustained for a couple of seconds. So that's hurt. I mean, look, I can look at my heart rate straight away after that little bit there, and I'm on 175 beats a minute. I'm very close, 10 beats off maybe my max heart rate. So it's definitely not easy through this section. And so obviously there's a couple of boys on the front just putting the absolute power down. You can see up to 700 watts there kicking out of that corner. And we're all strung out, single file. And this is where the bunch is sort of sitting up a little bit. We're sort of rolling forward off the power. Cyrus just having a drink there. A couple of boys having a drink. So you can tell we've stepped off the power a little bit. And with every time this happens, every time people sit, just take the power off, that main brake, it's always to their advantage. So that group of 5 riders off the bunch, they will be enjoying this. So again, stepped on the power again, back up to 500 watts or so, and then just hold it, following wheels here. So I'm just clicking away here trying to bring up my average power for that first 3 laps. So single file again. They're really stepping it up now, and I remember a couple of the times down this back straight, so there's a bit of a tailwind down this back straight, and I remember a couple of times going up the little rise along the back straight just thinking, oh my god, how are these boys on the front riding so fast? There's young Ross Gordon there on the left hand side. He's only, I think he's still in high school, only a teenager. He's riding very well at the moment. So I see how a lot let Ross in there in the green and blue kit. You know, as a part of racing, even though you're racing, it's always nice to let people in. You know, if you're sitting closely on someone's wheel like this and someone's coming back through the bunch, just let them in, you know. It's just a nice thing to do, you know. I mean, you don't want to be sitting out there. You don't want to be sitting out there in the wind. So it's always a good thing to let the riders back in, as long as they're not going too slow, you know, obviously, because that'll wreak havoc. But don't be afraid to let people in. It will be remembered. There will come a time when you're coming backwards through the bunch, and you'll want someone to let you in. I don't have a team, you know, so there's, on the flip side of that, I probably wouldn't be doing too much time. A wave there, I can't remember his name, but it was a little wave to the camera. So there's Tommy firing up again. He's just not happy with the fact that there's a lack of chasing. Which, this is part of bike racing. You get frustrated, you know, when there's a break up the road and the bunch isn't chasing. I can tell you now, of all the times that I can think of where I've been frustrated in cycling, it's usually when the bunch is just fooling around and the break's just getting further and further away. So diving into those corners. As you come through the corners, if you're a new rider, get down low, get on the drops, get down nice and low, put your outside foot down and just roll through the corner. Don't pedal through the corners if you can, until you start to get a bit more experience, then you can start to pedal through corners. But in the early days, it's best to just get down nice and low towards the handlebars, put your outside foot down. You can see I've just jumped across into the wheel here up to 1,000 watts there. I don't know why I'm going with this little move. I just suppose I wanted to stay at the front. And I don't know what I've done here. I don't know what I was thinking there. Pissed that guy off no end. But you can see the bunch has reacted. And I'm just at my max here as I just pulled over. I didn't want to be anywhere near this front section and having to chase people, so just pulled over, let a few crew through. Just outclassed here, you know. There's a lot of good riders in this group, and all of these little accelerations hurt a lot. And so I'm just following wheels, just trying to keep my heart rate down and keep the lactic down as much as possible, but certainly not easy. So again, I've said this before, the bunch is fattening up like this, so obviously they've taken the power off the pedals. Everyone's looking at each other thinking, alright, well, it's your turn to chase, bro. You can see a couple of boys through the gaps there have gone off the front. And so this little breakaway, I'm not sure whether it's back yet, but from memory they were still up the road at this stage. And regardless of your fitness, it was a painful ride. So we're just passing one of the lower grades. This could be B grade or C grade from memory. I think it's B grade. And I'm just trying to hold the wheel here. I remember this bit actually. This is where A grade were just absolutely strung out, smashing it. And I remember coming over the top of that climb, that little climb there, at 180 beats per minute heart rate, max heart rate, just thinking, oh man, I haven't got much left in me. So kicking up to 1,000 watts again there. There's Tom Leaper there, very, very strong bike rider. He ended up getting in a break later in this bike race. So fit at the moment. But everybody in Melbourne knows Tom Leaper. He's just like a machine, like a robot. Just gets on the bike and rides. And no complaints. Like, there's very few people, like myself for example, if it's raining outside, I'm like, nah, I'm going to stay in bed. But not Tom. Like, he'll get on the bike. So that's the sort of mentality that it takes to be an absolute champion. Got some new shoes on and a new helmet by the looks of it. There's Tommy Nankervis going back through. I like that budget forklifts kit too. They sort of stand out pretty well. So I think this is C grade, so we're just passing C grade on the left hand side. You can see the difference in speed. We're doing 46 k's an hour and C grade is sitting on maybe 44. You know, it's like there's very little difference in overall pace, but the thing is with A grade is they're, as I've said before, they're strung out. Like, we're constantly, there's people attacking constantly, and so you're always smashing down on the pedals. Where with C grade, you know, they'll go hard for a little bit and then they'll sit on the pedals and sort of chill out and get their breath back, and then they'll go hard again. So it's a mild increase in pace between the grades. You can see C grade is still with us now, and we're doing 51 k's an hour. Would you believe I got dropped again? Far out. Mate, that was so hard though. So hard. This is A grade finish. A grade proper. It's the brake. Looks like Still Van Hoff. Yeah, really tough ride tonight. There was so many good riders there, like, you know, Still Van Hoff, there was Clarkey, Tommy, and a lot of the young guys. You know, Simon Clark from Orica Green Edge. There was just some absolute beasts there. Tom Leaper, you know, won a stage of the Giro. He's an absolute weapon. So, yeah, really tough racing. You know, I sort of beat myself up, you know, because I'm not fit enough. But at the end of the day, even if you're fit in that race, people were getting spat constantly. Like, there must have been 20 people got spat out the arse before me, and I lasted half an hour. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the race, and chat with you soon. Nearly crashed.